Are coin grading companies ruining the coin collecting hobby, or have they ruined it already? So first off, I'm referring to PCGS and NGC and Annex, ICG, all these companies that came about, pretty much they created the rare coin market. Now don't get me wrong, they created more rarities. There was always rare coins, but they created the rarities and they grade the rarities and they compete with each other. I know that NGC and PCGS went public. I haven't really checked in on. That's not really that important, but they have to worry about profits, so they're not independent. And then they have a dealer network that they form. So you're an NGC dealer, a PCGS dealer, and then like the NGC is affiliated with the ANA, official grader of the ANA. And you've got all these things going on. And when you go to a coin show, all I hear is there's lines at PCGS's tables for the grading. And, it's one of those things where they're an important cog in the wheel. But yet, have they hurt the hobby? I mean, can we eliminate graded coins? I mean, can we say no more of this? Okay. I mean, a lot of people say, well, they're too expensive. They're not consistent. They market grade. You can't get the grade some of the other guys get. And there's some merit to some of that. It is expensive to send coins off for grading. I mean, it really is. I mean, I send off, and it's hard to get by with not spending $300 or $400 on a small submission. So I get that. But the reward can be great, but also it can be a loss. With that being said, there are things that the grading companies do that I think do impact the hobby in a negative manner. And that's actually grading for, and I understand they're trying to make money. I get that this is probably a big part of their income. But they need to set their standards higher when they grade and put certain labels on and label theirs. Annex does this a lot for HSN, for the other, and I'm not just picking on them either. It's all of them that sell the 1 through 500 graded coins or the green box labels and all this stuff. Sometimes I think there needs to be a standard set saying, hey, hold on a second. You guys are selling this stuff and, it's $100 and then it's $50 on eBay or another dealer's. There has to be some type of thing fixed there. I think that does hurt the hobby. I think it ruins the reputation of the grading companies themselves when people see this. And obviously reputation breeds more business, okay, the better the reputation. So I think that's one thing that has actually hurt Annex in particular. So I think in that sense, the third-party grading companies should have some type of monitoring system where they're watching these dealers. I'm not saying they kind of a watchdog saying, look, hey, you're kind of selling a little high. Take a little responsibility. They're in our holder. We graded those coins for you. We don't want people paying too much over fair market value for them. I don't know if that would work. I mean, that probably is not the greatest solution. I'm not sure, but there has to be something. We have watchdogs on eBay for fake stuff. Why not have watchdogs for certain dealerships that are overcharging and actually because of the label is a special, it really doesn't add that much value to the label. But not as much value as they claim it adds to the label. So I would like to see a change in that as well. Okay. Take something like this. This is a 1901 Morgan dollar. Get real close here. It's a nice coin. They graded it AU58. And I don't have to tell you if you're a Morgan dollar collector. This coin jumps. When it's AU55 to AU58, it jumps to over $1,000 in value. But you can get it for a couple hundred and lesser than AU58. This is what I'm talking about. This particular coin right here, the AU58 rarity, what they call a condition rarity or condition grade, was created by the coin grading companies. This doesn't exist without the coin grading companies. It doesn't exist. You take this out of the slab, then there can be an argument that's only an AU55 coin or an argument that it's a mint state coin. And there's no third-party designation, nobody to say either way, and you'd have to come to an agreement as the dealer to coin collector or dealer to dealer, and that's not going to happen very much. It needs to be in this holder or no one's going to pay AU58 prices. So in that sense, we need the grading companies, okay? How much it costs to do this, can be debatable. Would everybody get an AU58 if this was sent in 10 times by 10 different people? I don't know that. It looks pretty close. It looks pretty good. I mean, I'll show you the pictures. You can look at the coin and say, hey, is it AU58 or not? I mean, to me, it looks AU58. I know there's some people who would think that's mint state. You'll see it on eBay, mint state. Guarantee you'd see a coin like this cracked out and put up there as mint state. Hopefully they get a bite, get someone to pay you $1,500 for it, and they only pay $900 for the coin, or $800 or whatever, maybe even less than that, because you can get, like I said, an AU sub AU 58 for less. But anyway, if you did eliminate the grading companies, the hobby ceases to exist the way it is. I mean, it would really hurt the rare coin market. Okay. As far as them charging and not being consistent, I agree. There's some issues there that need to be fixed. Okay. I don't think the grading companies are running the hobby. I think it's ruined it for some people, and I think they make it more complicated for some people. And we're going to look at a few images here, and we're going to talk about this a little more in depth about the grading inconsistencies that we can see. I suppose my main thing is that a lot of people probably thought that I was going to say that grading companies have ruined the hobby, and I don't completely agree with that. That's one of the reasons why it wasn't in my last video on what is killing the hobby. I'm not saying the hobby's dying. It's not dead or anything like that. I just mean there's some things going on that hurts the hobby. Okay, it hurts people, and it's caused people not to buy from the hobby, and getting ripped off is one way. Obviously not getting the grade you want can also do it too, but the grading services are an integral part of the hobby. Do I think they need improved? Do we need a better standard? Absolutely, 100% we need a better standard. We literally need, the human grading is an erroneous way of grading coins, and we have the technology to improve our grading skills, to improve the grades on the coins and be more consistent, and we need to use it. So yes, in that part of it, I do agree. Has it ruined it for some people? Yes, it has. But like I said, people kind of take me wrong. I don't mean that the hobby's dead, dying, or ruined, or it's everybody's fault. It's a conglomeration of things that are wrong with the hobby, and they need to be fixed. As I said before, I don't think that the pricing is so much running the hobby when it concerns the TPGs. Although I think that the third-party grading companies, could be a little less expensive. I think there could be some correction there. But one thing that I think does hurt the hobby, it's not so much the fact that they grade their dealer network coins and then put their own value in their own coins based off of what auctions are sold for. I don't think that's so much unfair. I mean, it kind of seems like it's a conflict of interest in a way, but there's also third-party values that also reflect about the same thing. They're retail, but you got to take it for what it's worth. It's just a guide. But let's look at this for a minute. This is a 1961D, and it's mint state 67 red. Okay. And we can look at several different images. You can see marks here. The shoulder is usually where a lot of the marks are on these coins. And then you get up here, the cheek area, or at least the jawline area, I should say, and the cheek are also higher points, and they tend to have some, marks in them. And you can see there's marks here. Then you come up to the hair, and a lot of times the hair, since it's a kind of a higher point, it'll get contact marks. So those are kind of focal points. Not so much in the fields and things, but mostly on the high points of Lincoln is where a lot of the grading is done on these. And there's always a lot of marks, it seems like. Well, this coin was graded 67. Then we come over here to another one that was graded 67. Now, based off of lighting, it would appear that this coin has more marks, but you have to look at it as far as the lighting is concerned. Now, to me, I'm seeing more marks on this coin. Now, this was also, and I'm not picking on PCGS here, okay? This is just what I chose. They grade most of the higher end Lincoln cents that actually go for the value, so that's why I'm talking about them. I do use PCGS. I don't hate PCGS or anything. I don't always agree with the consistency things that I see here, but this is graded 67 as well, and to me, it doesn't look as good as the previous coin. There is some lighting differences here, but I'm still seeing a lot more marks. I mean, even with lighting, you can blow it up, you can see there's less marks. I mean, I don't really need lighting to see everything, but I'm just seeing differences here, and that's one of the problems that we see. Here's another one, and this one here tends to have less marks, it seems like, than the other one. Some of these could be resubmissions. You don't really know exactly what all is going on here. Sometimes the marks look very similar, but look, I mean, we're looking at this coin here. This is a 67, just like the rest of them, and I'm seeing heavier marks. And people see this and are like, well, my coin looks just as good as this one. Why couldn't I get the 67? Well, I think this one here might be a little overgraded. Or what if the other ones are undergraded? I mean, you can argue back and forth about it. So we can go, and let's look at another coin. This is a 1959. And to show you the grade, not so much the company, but the grade itself in 1959, it's a mint state 67. And look at the marks. Okay, you can see marks on the coin. I'm here to tell you that I have had, and I probably have in stock right now, coins that look this nice. Coins that look this nice. And I've sent off to the grading companies. I've sent them to PCGS and NGC, but mostly PCGS because they're worth more, and I have yet to get that 67 for one of these. And I have some nice rolls of them. I've went through a lot of rolls of them. Then you come over here to their photo grade, and their photo grade showing an actual wheat cent instead of the memorials, but it's basically the same design. So when you look at these, you can look at the 67, 66, you can compare to the 68, and it's obviously an image. Images are very difficult to grade, but let's take a look here. You can download and kind of blow it up a little bit and look. You can see a lot of marks in here, some marks here. So if this is a 67, then there's a lot more 67s out there, because I'm here to tell you I see it all the time, coins that are this nice. So I'm not saying things like this do hurt the hobby. Seeing coins that look inferior to grade to other coins as we compare them, that does kind of hurt people, because they're trying to send off and they want to get this grade, because, I mean, when you look at how much it sells for, $4,406. This auction actually took place in 2014. Come back over here, and this one happened in 2019. It sold for 480. That's another thing that kind of hurts the hobby, because you got a coin that at one time would have sold for $4,000. Now it's selling for 480 because more 67s were graded. So, a lot of times, though, you have to think, are these new guys that are grading are afraid to put the high grade because this is what happens? It's one of those things where it's kind of lesser of the two evils, where you have to have it. And yes, it may kind of hurt the hobby a little bit, but it's not ruining the hobby. I don't think grading services running the hobby. They make it a little more complicated, I'll agree. .70 grades is kind of complicated because we don't use them all anyways. But, I like to hear your thoughts. The one thing about it is that this is kind of like me basing some things on experience and some things that I'm seeing here. I try to put some evidence out there. If you got an opinion, you disagree, fine, just disagree with me. But anyways, so thanks for watching my latest video. Hopefully this might have cleared up a few things, maybe helped you understand how I feel about it. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.